Good morning students. Today we are going to discuss class 12 computer application chapter 5 PHP function and array. Today in this class we are going to discuss 1 mark and 2 mark questions. Let us go to the lesson today. Right. Today's lesson we start with 1 mark question. First, which one of the following is the right way of defining a function in PHP? So a function, what is a function? Usually when all programming languages, what we have is certain things will be certain tasks will be repeatedly we will be using. To avoid that repeated writing of the coding, what we will do, we will keep that particular module separately. We give the name for that module and we will be using it whenever we require that. This kind of using this module, we calling it as a function. Any module what is coming with a coding and used for repeatedly inside the program, we calling it as a function. Usually a function will repeat a value, it will return a value to the main program. The process like that, the main program, the function will be away from the main program and it will be used whenever it is required, and it will have a name. The main program call it by name and that function will be returning the value to the main program. So what is the right way of defining the function in PHP? In PHP, how we are defining the function? The answer is D. Function followed by function name within bracket parameters followed by flower bracket. That flower bracket tells the opening of the function body, and a function body is inside then it follows the declaration or the process of the function. Then it ends with the closing flower bracket. So a function is a keyword, function keyword followed by the name of that function, followed by the parameters within the brackets, then followed by a opening flower bracket, then a function body and ends with the closing flower bracket. This is the way of defining a function. Parameters sometimes may be optional. All function need not have parameters. Is a must. Okay, parameters sometimes is optional for the function. Now we will move on to the next question. A function in PHP which starts with a double underscore, it is not a dash or anything, it is a double underscore, is known as dash. It is called as a magic function, because in PHP there are certain functions which are specially meant for calling or giving instructions to the compiler or other, which means for some special purpose, right, and is specially reserved for that. So those type of functions will start with a double quotes, double underscore. To identify that this is we use a double underscore. So the function which starts with this kind of double underscore is called a magic function. We give a special name for that, it's called a magic function. Third question, PHP numerically index array begin with position. See, in PHP we have 3 types of arrays: index array, associative array, and we also have multi-dimension array. This we will be discussing deeply in 3 marks and 5 mark question and 2 mark question. Now in this, what we are going to discuss is what numerically indexed array. What will be the beginning position? That means in the array means we will having more than one value stored in one variable. So then when we have multiple items in that array, each item will have its own position value, right? And always in PHP the array position value starts with 0. The first item will have the position value 0. The correct answer is option C, 0. Then which of the following are correct ways of creating an array? Here there are many syntaxes given there. State 0 equals Tamil Nadu, then $state equals array Tamil Nadu, then $state 0 equals Tamil Nadu, and fourth one $state equals array Tamil Nadu. And we are given 4 options there, A, B, C and D. The correct answer for this question is option C, only 4, right? The fourth one is the correct way of defining an array in PHP. The answer is C, only the 4th option. Now we will move on to the next question. What will be the output of the following PHP code? Here I will say here 2 things are used. One is called array combine and array count values. Here I will take little time, students, just be spare with me. because these two array combine and array count values are not there clearly given in your textbook. I will tell you here. Before going that, please correct your option D in your book. I have given seeing the screen, I am showing the correct answer and the option D. It is not there in your textbook. Please correct the option in your textbook. The correct answer is what I am showing on the screen, the option D. A equals 2, tiger equals 1. A equals 2, tiger equals 1. Option D is the correct answer. Now students will ask, sir, what is array combine? Array combine is nothing but combining two arrays. It is a keyword. See, in PHP, arrays, for arrays, there are certain keywords, certain functions specially written for arrays, right? In that, array combine is one of the function which is used to combine two arrays. There I am using the two arrays. If you see $A and $B, it will combine the two arrays, right? $A and $B will combine. I will show you an example in the next screen. See, here I am using array green, red, yellow and array avocado, apple, banana, $A and $B. Now I am combining this both using the function called array combine, using the word called array combine. Now again there is another keyword which is introduced to you, especially print -r. This print _r, in book we will be using only print statement, but in the question it has been given like this, and the 2-3 questions you will be having this one. So for the better understanding of the students, I am taking here now print _r is the same like print, but it is given in a ordered way of printing. It will be specially used for array variables to print order in order way of the items. So print or $C will print in a ordered way of the items of the array C. But how array is combined? When array is combined, each item in the first array, that is $A, is taken as key value, and the second array $B will be taken as the actual data value. So green, red, yellow will become key, and avocado, apple and banana will become what? Actually the items, data items of C. It becomes just like an associative array. But here what happens when we have two things the same one? When you have two things the same one in the first array, or two items have the same name, then it will use the latest one only. Suppose I have green, red, green. In this example, suppose I have green, red, green. Then green first the green will take avocado, next red will take apple. Now the third one is again green. So green will take the latest value banana. We will not have two green value because it is creating an associative array, and in associative array only unique keys are allowed. So since it is unique keys are allowed, it will not repeat the green again, only the latest value will be retained. See, in this our example, A is A, cat is A, dog is cat, again A is coming. 2 times A key value is repeated. Here the first array $A is very, very important. Students, please note, $A will be taken as the key value. So there 2A is given. So any one key, the latest key only will be taken into account. The first A will be discarded. Okay, right. So cat will take the cat key value will take the value A. The dog will take the value cat. Again A is coming. Now this A will only be the latest A, and this will only be retained. So A is equal to A and dog equals tiger. Now again what array count is doing? Now you will see that one. Array count will just count how many times the variables items has been occurred. How many times that thing has been occurred. In our example, A is occurring 2 times. Okay, A is occurring 2 times and tiger is occurring 1 time. A is occurring 2 times. Here that A means I am telling about the item. A is equal to A, cat is equal to A, dog is equal to tiger. That is going to be our resultant array C as per our example. Resultant array C, right, after array combine will have items A is equal to A, cat is equal to A, dog is equal to tiger. Okay, as I told you, the A is repeated, so the latest A only will be retained. So here the item A is appearing 2 times, tiger is appearing one time and the correct answer is A is equal to 2 and tiger is equal to 1. I took little time for this question because their array combine and array count is not coming in our textbook elaborately. So, I took little time to explain with example. Now, I will move on to the next question, sixth question. For finding non-empty elements in array, we use dash function, right? As array of size of array count function, and the correct answer is count function. Here count is also a reserved function. It is a keyword used to count the number of non-empty elements in an array. Okay, right. The correct answer is count of. Answer option D. Now let us move on to the seventh question. Indices of arrays can be either strings or numbers and they are denoted as. 4 options is given there. $my underscore array flower brackets 4. In the next option B, $my underscore array then square brackets 4. C, $my underscore array, then we have the bar 4. Then D, none of them. The correct answer is option B, $my array of 4. That means I am declaring an array of 4 items. Right? That index here I am referring the 5th item. That students will be very careful. Though I am giving there $my array 4 means I am referring the 5th item of that array. Here array name is my underscore array. Here array name is my underscore array and I am accessing the 5th item because it starts with 0. It starts with 0. First item is 0, second item is 1, third item is 2, fourth item is 3, fifth item is 4. Item will be one thing plus 1 than the index because the index starts from 0. So, when I say $my underscore array of 4, it means I am accessing my array's 5th item. Okay, right. Next, we will move on to the next question. PHP arrays are also called as ashes. You need not have to worry about the other things. Student need not have to confuse about the other arrays. What are the parallel arrays and vector arrays? The correct answer for this is called ashes. The other name usually we call PHP arrays ashes. Okay, the option is C. Now let us move on to the 9th question. As compared to associative arrays, vector arrays are much faster. Sir, what is vector arrays, sir? I am not discussing. Your index arrays are called vector arrays. Okay, your index arrays are called vector arrays. They are much faster than associative arrays. Then we move on to the 10th question. What functions count elements in an array? What functions count elements in an array? Here many of the students I want to tell the students, you must be very careful in certain questions like this. Usually what students think when 4 options are given, only there will be only one answer correct. It's not true. Sometimes there will be more than one answer true. If you see here, there are 2 answers are true. One is A and another is B. That is why they are calling what functions. They are using plural there. They are using plural. What functions count elements in an array? Both A and B counts the element. So you have to write both the answer A and also the option B. Whenever you write the option, please, whenever you write the answer, please be careful. Don't write only the option. Please write the answers along with the options. That is A count and also B size of. Like that you have to write the answers along with the options. Now let's move on to the next 2 mark question. Now we will start discuss the 2 mark questions now. Define function in PHP. A function is nothing but a block of segment in a program that performs a specific operation or task. I said usually when a particular task is repeated again and again in a program, we need not have to write it again and again. We can keep it as a common in one place and then we can call it whenever it is necessary in our program. There are certain tasks, for example, sir, in my program I am going to use cube many times, or I am going to find a factorial, sir. I am going to write, I am using again and again factorial. Then what I will do is, I will keep that, I will write the coding factorial, I will keep it separately, and whenever I need, I will call it. I will not repeat it again and again. This is called a function. I am keeping that separately. The coding which is kept separately and called again and again is called a function. We give that coding block a name. We give that coding block a name. That block of coding is given a name. For example, fact, right? Now that fact is called by the main program whenever it is necessary, and whenever I supply, the main program supplies a value, for example, fact of 5. That function will return the factorial of 5. Next time I want fact of 10, it will return the value, the factorial value of 10 back to the main program. This way I can use it separately. This is called a function, right? It is nothing but a type of subroutine or procedure. You can also say very well it is a type of subroutine or a procedure. There is nothing wrong in it. But very main thing is it is reusable. Functions are reusable. That is why the nature we are writing the function, right? Because I want to use it again and again. That is why I declare a function and I use it whenever it is necessary, right? Okay. Now we will go on to the next question. Define user defined function. User defined function in PHP allows user to create their own specific functions inside their program module. That is, I can write my own functions. Usually what happens in any programming, if you take any programming language, all programming language will give an allowance for the programmer to define their own functions. There is user defined function. Is there any reserved function? Naturally, the PHP will come with its own function. They are called library functions or system functions, a system defined function. Those functions comes along with PHP. For example, if I want to find cos, tan, log or average, they are all readily available. Certain times certain functions are not available. That time the user or the programmer can write their own functions in their program. They are called user defined function. And the syntax for that is given: function, function name, right? A function followed by the function name. Then it starts with a opening flower bracket. After the opening flower bracket, you should define the coding of that function. Once the coding is over, then close the function with the closing flower bracket. And all the function usually returns a value to the main program. Right. Now next we will move to the next question. What is parameterized function? So now I discussed in the previous question, what is a function? Now when I write a function, certain function has to work with certain value, isn't it? For example, in the last question I was just giving an example, factorial. Now for what value that will work? Because I have to, when I write factorial, I should write it for some value, for example factorial of 5 or factorial of 10, like that. But what I will do, when I write the function, I will not write particularly for any value, but rather I will write it general. That is, the function is returned for general value. Say for example x. Taking x as the value, I will write the factorial coding for that. And the value for that x will be supplied from the main program. So with that value, that x will be substituted with the value supplied by the main program, and with that value this will work out, the factorial will work out. So that variable with which the function is written generally is called a parameter of that function, right? It is called, and a function which comes with that parameters are called parameterized function. Function which comes with parameters are called parameterized function. Usually these parameterized functions are not only it should come with only one parameter, certain function will have 2-3 parameters also, and the values for this is passed from the main program. They are called arguments. Why? Because why these parameters, why this kind of thing? Because I cannot have particular, as I do, factorial is a very good example. Whenever I need, I will write factorial generally for ax, and whenever I need that value for any factorial for any value, I will send the value from the main program to the, I will pass the value from the main program to the function factorial, and it will return, and the function will return the factorial of that, fact of 5, fact of 10, like that. Okay, and this way the function and main program share their informations, right? Share their informations. That is the last point given there. Now we will move on to the next question. List out system defined function. As I told you, there are certain functions which comes along with the PHP, already predefined. They are predefined and they are compiled and it comes along with the PHP, and the user and the programmer can use it directly, right? And there are directly, and it is already predefined and retained and compiled and kept coming along with PHP. There are given certain examples for that: round, square root, date, sine, cos. Now, these are all already predefined and they are used for some special purpose. Square root, round is used to round the decimal value, and SQRT is used to find the square root. Date will retain the current date, sine will retain the sine value, cos will return the cos value. So, these are all predefined functions. They are called system defined functions. Now, let us move on to the fifth question. Write the syntax of function in PHP. Write the syntax of the function in PHP. Usually a function, this is a repeated question, usually a function starts with a keyword function followed by the function name, then open brackets, then the logic of that function, that is a coding. Coding is written and it is closed with a flower bracket. Now, we will move on to the sixth question. Define array in PHP. An array is a special variable which can hold multiple values in a single variable. Usually a variable holds only one value. Sometimes it so happens we have to store more than one value in a single variable. That times we define the variable with the keyword array, it will become an array variable. We can store more than one value in this variable. It is a collection of heterogeneous or homogeneous data. When we store more than one data, as I told, array we are going to store more than one value in one variable. So, when you store more than one value, it can be a mixed data type, that means that is heterogeneous, or the same data type, that is homogeneous. Homogeneous means same data type, heterogeneous means mixed data type. And usually there are three types of array concepts in PHP. We use three types of array in PHP: index array, associative array and multidimensional array. Students, these three arrays are very well going to be deeply discussed in my next class in the 3 marks and 5 marks. Now, it is enough you know there are three types of arrays used in PHP: index arrays, associative arrays and multidimensional array. Now, you move on to the seventh question. Write the usage of array in PHP. And a useful aspect of using arrays in PHP is when combined with a for each loop statement. Usually the student should know, sir, why array is introduced. Everything is as an advantage and disadvantage, and it is when we use it the correct place, we will know the power of that particular thing. See, when I want to, very simple, yes, I am going to find the total. I am finding the total of a class for 40 students. I cannot write 40 times the total for 40 students. Rather, what I will do, I will write the finding the total common and I will repeat it for 40 students. Now, the repetition comes. Whenever repetition comes, it forms a loop, right? And loop minimize my coding. Loop minimize my coding. I am going to write only one time and I repeat it for 40 people. I need not to write 40 times. I am not going to repeat 40 times. I am going to write only one time. So, it minimizes my coding, and looping is very useful for that. And array is very, very useful to implement this loop. Array is very, very useful to implement this loop structure in our programming, right? We are going to use two types of loop in PHP. One is for each and another is for loop. The difference is, for each loop is specially defined now in the coming latest languages. They are using a new type of for loop called for each, specially defined for array, because in array we have to go next item. If we use for, we have to move the pointer by giving an increment or decrement like that. But for each loop is not necessary. For each loop will automatically move on. It will always start from the first item and it will move on one by one to the last item. Once last item comes, it automatically stops. You need not to worry it is going to after or it is going to stop before. It will always start from the first item, go by one in order way, next item, and it will go to the last item for each loop. At the same time, it is having also a disorder. We cannot have step value in for each. If you want to jump 2-3 items like that, then we automatically have to go for loop. Okay, right. Now, this allows you quickly loop through an array with a very little code, because array helps you implement the loop structure and reduce the coding. Now, 8th question, list out the types of arrays in PHP. There are three types of arrays: associative array, indexed array, multidimensional array. Associative array is array where each item is given a name, right? That is, for example, I am going to store marks, 3 subject marks, physics, chemistry, maths, namely 70, 80, 90. So, now I store 70, 80, 90, usually it is accessed by the place value, right, called index, 0, 1, 2, like that. Instead that, I am going to give name for each and every item. That is 70, I am going to give name physics, for 80 I am going to give name chemistry, and 90 I am going to give the name called maths. Now, whenever I refer physics, it will refer the data item 70. So, 70 is now having a key value called physics. That name is called key value. I need not have to worry where that 70 is coming in the array. If I say physics, if I refer physics, automatically it will refer to the value 70. But we must be very careful, key should not be repeated. Key should not be repeated. Next is indexed array. The index can be assigned automatically in a collection of data set. This is the very simplest array. When you say simply an array, automatically the items are automatically given there. The place value automatically starts from 0, and we access the arrays through their place value using the numbers. It is called indexed array. When we have array of arrays, so far what we seen is only a single row by using the keyword array. Suppose we have 2-3 rows, then each row should start from array like that. We have to use the keyword array. Each row will start with the keyword array, and we will have 3 arrays in a particular 3 or more, 1 or more rows in a particular array, then it becomes a multi-dimensional array. Is it clear? Right. Define associative array. This is a special type of array used in PHP where we give name to each and every item. Indexed array is very common in almost all languages, where we will be using an array. Almost all languages have the array concept where it starts with each item starts with an place value. Almost all languages will have the place value starts with 0, right? Usually it is a generally standard one. All arrays start in almost all languages. The array starts with the place value, start value will be 0. But associative array is a special type of array where we give name to each and every item. Sir, why I should use associative array? Because here the advantage of associative array is I need not have to remember the place value. If I know the key, straight away can access the item. Suppose I am storing 70, 80, 90 marks in index array, then I should remember the first one is physics, second one is chemistry, third one is maths. Suppose if I do some mistake, it will interchange. And another thing, I will not be knowing what is the 70, 80, 90. That time if I give each and every mark, I give that the respective subject as their key value, then it will be very easy for me to call that data value using their names. For example, as I told you in the previous one, physics, chemistry, maths, then the physics mark can be called by using the name physics. Chemistry mark will be accessed through the name chemistry. The maths marks will be accessed through the name called maths. I need not worry what is the order and other thing, because each one is having a key value. But we should be very careful, key should not be repeated. Okay, and here I can assign a unique value for referencing the data, right? I hope students would have understand very well these questions, and I think students will be very clear in their understanding. I wish you all the best. Thank you.